Whoa, what's up, you guys? And we're coming in because we're going to talk about this race, this governor's race. And oh my gosh, I didn't expect me to have to go live. And I forgot that this was happening. My mother might hit me. And then, yeah, no, now we're pulling it up. And I'm highly concerned. So let's talk about it because on top of it, we'll be getting a lot of disrespect, but we'll be covering this throughout the day. I might leave you guys like on a news segment or something at points because I'm gonna be cooking at the same time. So bear with me. It's a lot of articles we're gonna go through. First of all, we're gonna talk about the Happy Pride Month. One off the top, off the bat. Let's just say Happy Pride Month. Woo! Extra gay all the way, and no one's going to stop us. Anyway, step in your way. Don't let nobody tell you not to do you. And if they do, F them. I said what I said. F them.
What a joker.
So let's get it right into it. Let's go ahead and bring it up here. Don't show this again. I understand. We're gonna go to the governor's election thingy and show y'all what's going on there. So shout out to NBC News. California, we are looking extremely red. Even in Sacramento, which is weird. So weird. Sacramento, everybody's voting for Hilton, but they're saying it's too early to call the results. Run for re-election due to term. Gavin Newsom unable to run due to term limits. Huge field of contenders jumped in. Two Democrats, a cabinet, Xavier. So it says with Democrat Governor Newsom unable to run for re-election due to term limits, a huge held contenders jump in. Two Democrats, former cabinet secretary Xavier Becerra and billionaire Tom Sawyer, and one Republican Trump endorsed commentator Steve Hilton separated themselves from So as we're talking about Steve Hilton, as y'all see, Steve Hilton's in the lead with 1,421. The 466. This man has 26.6% of all the thing. Second in that is Xavier Becerra. Tom Sawyer comes in third. Chad Beyond. I'm happy he didn't get that much votes. I'm actually happy Chad did not get as many votes. Y'all can call me a hater. I don't care what you want to call me. Let me show you. So I'm pretty sure y'all was not able to see. So we're gonna talk about this because they think this is highly concerning. Because tell me why is this is what we see, right? I want to try to see the map too. We had hundreds and hundreds of cabinet candidates. Yeah, we had 107. So in Alameda right now, Alameda is going for mostly Becerra. So they're still kind of blue. We have 43.7% of their votes are in. Alpine has 83.3% of their votes in. And about 83% of their votes in. They're mostly going for Tom Sawyer at the moment. George Santos betting activity on Kalish flag to DOJ sources say. Ooh, yeah, I've been hearing that they've been betting on Kalishi, and some of them have been betting on themselves. Oh, did I click off that? And I think that's illegal, kind of like how basketball works. So right now, everybody has results in. Primary results. Not every state will have a race office in midterm elections. They haven't called. It says it's too early to call, so they haven't called it yet. So let's go down the list. Let's see, because right now we are highly red. Oh, one place has turned blue, and that was Alpine. Like I said, just turned blue. Sacramento mostly is voting for Hilton so far. with 28. Actually, they're like the same percentage, and they're saying it's too. We only got 41% of our votes in so far, so that's a little too early to count. Let's see here at the Capitol. Amador has 77% of 78% of their votes in. Steve Hilton is in the lead. They're about 40%. He leads about 20% ahead of Chad, you know. And Democrat Xavier Becerra's over there. They're the lead top three over there. Let me see who the fourth person might be. Tom Sawyer is coming in fourth place. I can tell everybody else was not going to get into anywhere. Oh wait, we have a couple more blues just popped in. And they're heavy blues, so you know they're voting heavy. So the darker it is, the more they're going for it. Okay. Pink is Bianco. Hilton is red. Sawyer is the blue. Becerra is the dark blue. So all of these. So let's check it out as we go on because we're getting a couple more blues in. The ones who just turned blue was Los Angeles. They are mostly going for Becerra at the moment. He's in the lead by 7%. Really 6%, but 7%. We're gonna try to give it to him. They have 62% of their votes in. This is absolutely crazy as we're following, and it's kind of nutty. Let's see where we're at. I was kind of concerned because this was all red for a second. I got so scared. They just went pink. That was solid red down here. All this was red. So Santa Barbara is going for Tom Sawyer. They have 63% of their votes in. I don't think anybody has 100% of their votes in yet. So let me see. And Butte, let me view all the counties because I think we have hella counties. Yuba only has 42% of their votes in, so yeah, I think let's just go through the list. So Amador, we're gonna continue, not gonna do all at once. We're gonna come back and forth. 70 something percent of their votes in. They are voting for Steve Hilton. Gross. Let me stop me give my opinion before they close me off because I've given my opinion. Imperial is going for Xavier. They only have 60% of their votes, and Inyo has 50% of their votes in. Kern County has 50% of their votes in. They're going for Steve Hilton. Kings is Steve Hilton. He has a lot of counties as I see. I think we see, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Best definitely in like the Placer, El Dorado. He's in the lead right now. Sacramento, he's also in the lead. Alpine's almost done, and I don't know if we can call it yet. There's only like Syria leads by like 8%. I don't know who's really gonna lead because they have to take a lot more districts than this. Right now they say Steve is in the big lead, but by maybe 2% ahead of Becerra. Tom Sawyer is really behind. He only has 19%. But we'll see who's really gonna get there. Let's really focus on counties. El Dorado Hills only has 60% of their votes, 64% of their votes in. They're serving at Steve Hilton, Xavier Becerra, and Bianco for Hilton, Becerra, and Bianco. Lake County, we're seeing 32% of their votes in so far as Hilton. in the lead. Los Angeles has 62% of their votes. In Los Angeles is leading with Becerra. I really not sure of how I feel about Becerra. I'm not even gonna hold you. But we'll see what keeps going on. But we're gonna get into some other topics as well. Let's talk about it's y'all know it's LG. Y'all know it's Pride Month, and you know I'm about to go in. Hold on, let me grab me something to drink real quick. Hold on, 2 seconds. Okay. All right, let's talk about this. So, Associated Press posted yesterday that new details released on Texas Children's Hospital planned detransition clinic inside of a hospital. So Texas Children's Hospital in Houston has to create a detransition clinic for transgender parents, patients by the summer. By this summer. Ain't summer around the corner because we in June. What are you talking about? Around the corner, around the corner. Can y'all see this? Hold on. Share this tab instead. So yeah, let's talk about it. It says according to new details released by Monday, Texas Attorney General Office. So let me move it off the screen real quick because what they'll like to do is sometime I'm gonna read the article, but I'm gonna come back because what they'll try to do sometimes is play in my face with it. So and tell me that it's too much. So let me put my face and shrink it. So the article reads as following. It says Texas Children's Hospital in Houston has to create a detransition clinic for transgender patients by this summer and keep a list of potential gender affirming care patients according to new details released Monday by Texas Attorney General Office. Okay, according to the 10-page list of settlement terms, a 10-page list requested by Texas Tribune, Texas Children has 90 days from the effective date of the settlement to set up the detransition clinic. The Attorney General announced the settlement 2 weeks ago, but because a final settlement has not been signed, there is no effective date agreed upon yet. The $10 million settlement, first announced on May 15th, is the result of 2022 in 2023 investigation by the Attorney General's office into Texas children. The same year, Governor Greg Abbott signed a Senate Bill 14 that bars transgender children from receiving puberty blockers and hormone therapies. Previously, all that known about the settlement was the hospital agreed to pay $10 million to the state permanently revoke the medicinal privileges of 3 current doctors and 2 former ones. The settlement terms released Monday are the first details about the unusual agreement between the nation's largest pediatric hospital and the Attorney General that would set up the first detransitioning clinic. Can I just say the fact that we are detransitioning children by force, isn't that illegal? Is that not illegal? I'm just saying, is that not illegal? Because why are we detransitioning? Yeah, where are we detransitioning? Why are y'all so hooked up on what's in between people's legs? Can we get through this? I mean, just why are we so hung up and so tied into what's in between everyone's legs and who's freaking on who, right? And then yet we have pedophiles all around us, down to our own president. This is all very weird. It's very strange. It's very weird. I don't know what you guys want to call it, right? Let me. So y'all mean to tell me that we have no money for any of the things right that's going on, but y'all have enough money sit up here and worry about detransitioning some damn kids? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? This world has come to something. Y'all are going to and the thing is, here's what I'm worried about, because it's not even that they're going to detransition kids. Is what they roll out one place is what they're going to try to roll out all over the place, and then they're going to stretch the capability belt. Ability belt means they're going to go from children to adults, and then what they're going to try to do is detransition the adults and make it illegal for us to be taking hormones and stuff like that. Girl, if y'all could stack up if you can. Girl, I wish they would come try to snatch me up at my home and tell me they're gonna make me detrans. Don't this sound like some internment camp? Don't this sound like they're trying to dangerously kidnap children? Isn't that what they're doing now with ICE? So they're gonna do it with the trans children too. They're gonna kidnap them and lock them in cages. Is that what we're allegedly? And we're gonna kidnap them and lock them in cages and call them in lunch names and little fags and little things like that and be very disrespectful. I dare y'all. I dare y'all. I dare you to, because it's gonna be a problem. I ain't making no threats physically, but when I'm done, y'all gonna stand to live another motherfucking day. If y'all come up in here messing with children and telling them you're gonna detransition, I wish y'all start snatching kids about their homes and forcing them to detransition. Y'all need to go to jail, because that's technically against HIPAA, isn't that? Is it making a list of these people and their names and who they are against HIPAA? Because what are you doing with that list and their children? So why are we right? We can't mark that down. Isn't that illegal? We can't even document certain parts of cases on the internet because it's of children. You can't even release certain details from the police department when it comes to stuff legally. When it comes to kids, because they have to be, if they were minors, that meant that most of that information is sealed. But we're talking about Texas. A lot along with Georgia ain't real. I don't know what goes on there, but things be weird, and it just stands out. It's different. Y'all need some help. Ugh. Now, on top of that, now let's start. Let's go back to because I'm speaking of homophobia. We need, since we're trying to trans, since we're on the LGBT topic. Um, since we're on that, did you know that represent the government Andy Ogles, okay, since deleted his comment on Twitter on X, okay, his comment he posted from his official congressional X account Tuesday blamed a staffer for posting it following backlash from both Democrats and Republicans. He is going to blame a staffer for what he posted right here. And you want to know what he said in his commentary? Okay, he said in a since deleted post that he got pushback for, as read as following: homosexuality has no place in America. Happy Nuclear Family Month. Okay, happy 250th anniversary of slavery and complete genocide, homophobia, pedophilia, and much more of America. Happy that month, right? Right. Okay. Happy month where we have to take back the joy we have, because just like Juneteenth, America, or the white men and you controlled the world, took that joy from us. So we had to create our own joy and culture after being kidnapped and thrown on boats and shipped here hundreds of years ago, just to turn around and use those same mind tactics again in a version that y'all call economy and economics, and y'all call it economics, and just you know y'all need to go to hell. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Y'all can go ahead. Y'all is disrespectful. It's nuclear. And then everybody's making comments about it. So it says, let me see. A member of my comms team sent the post, right? The post was stupid, hurtful, and complete distraction from the American first focus. The employee has reprimanded, he added. I don't think it distracted from any American first, because obviously, as I just read an article ago, y'all trying to post the Detransition Center that's $10 million after a lawsuit y'all got against some doctors for giving hormones blockers to children, right? And that was not the American first focus. We're talking about the president who's been accused of touching on set. Anyways, I gotta text. And where was I at? Y'all sitting back and y'all sit in these suits and behind these chairs and these counters, and y'all try to blame it off. Y'all need to take some accountability. You said what you said, right? And then you're gonna get on his camera and you're gonna tell me that, what did he say? Fellow Republican Mike Law. I don't even gonna get to Mike Lawler because I know he bullshit too. Um, the employee has been reprimanded. He's okay. So a member of my comms team. So why does communication have your phone that you have in your hand and the personal account that you log into? The post was stupid, hurtful, and complete distraction from my American first focus. Oh, so your America first focus. Is this the same Ogles that was? Hold on, because I swear, wasn't Andy Ogles? Let me look at something. Is this not? Is this not you a couple months ago? Can y'all get? I don't want to log in for what? What do I need to log in for? So y'all can track what I'm talking about? Gosh, get out my face. Like these a bunch of paywalls. They want money. They want you to log in. They want you to give them your information. Can y'all get this thing off my screen so I can show them the truth? Continue out the script. Y'all show me the freaking article. Okay. Representative Eddie Ogles, wasn't this you talking about the not the American First Focus? Isn't this you back in March, right? When you said you wrote on your social media the first time that Muslims don't belong in American society and that the pluralism is a lie. Democrats denounced his comments, right? Speaker Mike Johnson, his fellow Republican leaders, has said nothing, right? Said nothing, right? Then, just weeks after Representative Randy Fine, Republican of Florida, said, if they force us to choose the choice between dogs and Muslim, it's not a difficult one. So what is the American First focus? Is it anti-Muslim? Is it anti-trans? Is it homophobia? What is it? What is it? Because this is it. Are you going to blame that same post on your cabinet member who had the same thing, right? Because wasn't this you back in March? Wasn't this you back in March? Oh, I'm not done. I'm not done because this is not the first time Andy, Congressman Andy Ogles has done this. Okay, let's take it a little bit further back than March. Can we jump back in 2025 for a second? From the House Committee of Ethics. Okay. Committee rules. The chairman and ranking member joined decided November 18, 2024 to extend committee review of matter in order to gather additional information necessary to complete the review. The committee matter. Pursuant Rule 7, chairman, ranking member. You had got it too. I'm trying to see if they're going to bring it in order to comply with the committee's part of the fairness of risk, also as ensure the integrity. The committee notes that the mere fact of conducting further review, referral, and mandatory press release. No less. Nature alleged violation. Representative was omitted a risk representative required information in his Federal Election Commission. Wasn't this you getting legally barred for not giving us your information? Okay, this is 2024. Let's get this. You had a violation. And this is a report. The Board of the Congressional Ethics, by vote none less than 4 members of June 20th, 2024, adopted the following report in order to be transmitted to Committee of Ethics in the United States of House of Representatives. The nature of the alleged violation. Representative Ogles may have omitted or misrepresented required information on his financial disclosure statement or Federal Election Commission. Candidate Committee reports if Representative Ogles failed to disclose or misrepresented the required information in his financial disclosure statements or the FEC candidate committee filings, then he may have violated House rules, standards of conduct, and federal law. Okay. Representative Ogles Campaign Committee, Andy Ogles for Congress may have accepted excessive contributions reported as personal loans and contributions from other candidates. They may have not been sourced for Representative Ogles, but personal funds. If the campaign committee accepted personal loans and contributions, they exceed campaign contribution limits, then Representative Ogles may have violated federal law, House rules, standards of conduct. And this was just in 2024. You have a track record. Andy, I never went in this deep on somebody, but your old ass. I mean, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm live. I'm sorry, YouTube, but your old ass gonna get up on this goddamn podium and lie, lie, and lie again. I dare you to lie one more time. I dare you to. It's not the American first focus. Then what is the first focus? Because your first focus is obviously your pockets. As you seen, you lied about that, right? It allegedly may have admitted to the members of the committee's Congress makes of excessive contributions. And you scapegoated with it. By the way, they try to say he didn't invoking the right he would not have held negatively against him. A $320,000 the July quarterly representative, and this is April 15, 2022. He said $320,000 loan from Representative Ogle's personal funds on April 15, 2022. What was going on around that time? Okay. Wasn't this the same time that they just was talking about a bunch of midterms and they were trying to get everybody to, change the stuff up because when Biden was in office in 2022. Can we go back to that? Do we need to go back to that? Listen, I don't know what's the homophobia going on here, but the disrespect is so high. It's crazy. But let's check in on this governor race. Then I'm gonna put y'all on a little news thingy to check it out. I'm probably gonna do Live Nation because they let me do it sometimes. They are very actually open to letting people watch their lives. They're gonna be going over a lot of the other election stuff that's going on. I think it's them. Let me make sure first. Let me check it out. But let's check out what's going on in this race. The update so far. Let's see what's going on. Let's get in this. Still too early to call. We're starting to see a lot more changes into blue. Ish. Some places changed. Some is still sitting in the same spot. Numbers have definitely went up. No one has gotten their votes 100% in yet. I don't think any states has called it yet. Amador's at 77% now. 40% going to Steve Hilton. Becerra's dropped a lot. I don't explain because there's a lot of Republicans in that section of town. Fresno and for Sarah. So he's still in the lead by 2%. He's not really, it hasn't really changed much. It really has not changed much just on this election thingy. We're going to have this. Let me go see if I can pull up this.
he thinks you might need mental health help, why not see a psychiatrist? They're doctors for your mind.
They're going to use this from my Associated Press.
In Phoenix. So we will see the return of the onshore push on the West Coast. Here's an Latin.
No, I'm just playing it all on the phone, thinking your ears. We gotta. Oh, I try to use CNN, but I know they're trying to cut me. So what I think we're gonna do is check out some of the other. Was I'm sorry I went so quiet on you guys. I was over here looking and looking and looking because I'm trying to find one that's like good for you guys to watch. What we'll do is gonna go to C-SPAN. We're gonna just look at some of the election results. Okay, so this some of the results. We're gonna say this is the Associated Press, of course. So we're gonna probably look at. Let me see. So what we're gonna do is let them come in and let's see. What we're gonna do is sit on this. We're gonna like sit back and like let this roll. We're going to jump over to YouTube real quick. Y'all gonna have to excuse the commercials. Pause his girl. Actually, let me see. So I don't think I ever did it on the side. I don't 8, no, not right now. You can get it for 30 days freedom off. It's terrible. Ooh, switch account, child. Bam. Click over to me. Switch account. Here I got history. So we're gonna take a look at some of the stuff that was going on yesterday and let this sweaty.
Where polls just closed at 8 p.m. Eastern, Iowa and New Mexico, where polls are set to close at 9 p.m. Eastern, Montana, where polls will close at 10 p.m. Eastern.
$1 million. He hopes to finish in the top, beating former and Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco versus an uninspiring field of Democrats, to put it there. After Kamala Harris passed on the race, the Attorney General Rob Bonta passed on the race, Alex Padilla, Senator, passed on the race. So it was becoming, who does anyone want to be California senator? Well, there were some that did. And then after Eric Swalwell got in the race and then very quickly flamed out, you had a surprising person who was mired in the single digits. Former Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra was able to jump up in the polls to where he is actually leading the pack right now. Tom Steyer, billionaire, former hedge fund executive, has spent over $200 million. He hopes to finish in the top two, and so there could be a Steyer-Becerra race. This could go on, or it probably looks like it might be either Becerra and Hilton or Becerra or Steyer and Hilton there. But it's been a really sort of fascinating, twisty, turny kind of things, to where, again, when Democrats were just praying that one Democrat gets into thinking, maybe we get both candidates, and that could have down ballot implications for Republicans on the House side.
Speaking of going on, vote counting in California likely to go on late in tonight and into tomorrow and maybe even longer. Jacob Rubashkin, when everything's said and done, the California race and then all the races in these other 5 states, what are we going to learn about the bigger picture of the midterm elections when this is over?
There's a lot going on tonight. This is a...
So wait, what's the catch? That's what most people ask when they hear about SMUD's brand new home battery incentive.
Because getting paid up to $8,000 up front to put a backup battery in your home does seem too good to be true.
But guess what?
Big moment for Democrats as they finally select nominees in some of the most competitive House races across the country. We're going coast to coast here. We've got races in New Jersey, like New Jersey's 7th congressional district. Republican Tom Kean Jr., one of the most vulnerable incumbents anywhere in the country. This is a guy who's been missing from Washington, D.C. for 3 months.
We don't know where he is in the country right now.
We don't know where he is in the country right now. And Democrats have a crowded primary to take him on this fall. You move across the country, east to west. You've got 3 highly competitive races in the state of Iowa that we're watching on the House side. Not so much on the primaries. All 3 of those primaries have sorted themselves out. But getting those candidates into the general election, an important step. You've got some reach races. You've got a race in western Montana where there's a very heated Democratic primary on the House side. And then you get to the big event of tonight, or more likely, as you said, tomorrow morning, next week, the week after. We know California takes a long time.
A dozen or 14 races we're watching on the House side in California.
Absolutely. And if you remember, Democrats redrew the map in California a couple of months ago to help them gain as many as 5 seats. But those 5 seats are not all gimmies. They still have to field candidates, and those candidates still have to win tough races, several of them against incumbents. So you've got races like the 6th district, where former Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley, now an independent, is trying to hold on to his seat. There are a bunch of Democrats who are running to replace or to beat him. You've got California's 22nd district, David Valadao, one of the most vulnerable, but also one of the strongest Republicans on the House map. And there are 2 candidates, one backed by Democrats in D.C., one backed by national progressive groups, both looking to take him on. You've got races in San Diego, like California's 48th district, up and down the ballot. This is going to be a big moment for Democrats as they finally get these champions and look toward November.
So that's the House map. Jessica Taylor, take us to the Senate map tonight. What are we going to learn tonight on that front?
Well, the big race that I'm watching is in Iowa, where polls will close in a couple of hours there. This is a race that Democrats, it's been moving up their target list. It's an open seat with Senator Joni Ernst retiring. Now, there's not a lot of drama on the Republican side. Ashley Hinson has only a nominal primary challenger. She's a former TV news anchor, been seen as a rising star within the Republican Party ever since she was elected a couple of cycles ago to a competitive House seat. But on the Democratic side, you have sort of a more moderate challenger versus a more progressive challenger. So the candidate that Washington wants, that Chuck Schumer and the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee wants, is Josh Turek. He's a state representative from Council Bluffs. He has represented a state House seat that Trump carried. Versus State Senator Zach Walz. He has an endorsement from Elizabeth Warren. He's from Iowa City, from very blue Johnson County. He's actually never had a Republican opponent. So Turek is making this contest more about electability and saying, I'm the type of candidate that can put a seat that went for Trump by 13 points on the map. Versus Walz is saying, we need a fighter. We need someone who can sort of get labor and more sort of blue collar workers excited. Vote Vets has spent $10 million for Josh Turek in this race. Now,
mind you, every time all this money, but ain't to be shown. Like, I don't understand. Like, really?
Turek is not a veteran himself. He's actually in a wheelchair due to spina bifida, which was caused by his father's exposure to Agent Orange in Vietnam. So that is one of the reasons why they have spent so much on this race. Walz, has cast that as Washington meddling in this contest. But polling from Vote Vets has shown that that money has given Turek a big leg up in polling.
Jacob Rubashkin, the past 2 Tuesdays in June, and I'm thinking Texas and North Carolina in particular, there's been the Trump endorsement factor and Donald Trump playing a big factor on primary night. How much of a factor is the Donald Trump endorsement playing in some of these races that you're watching tonight?
Well, the big one that we're watching to see whether Trump's endorsement has the juice that his chosen candidate needs is in Iowa, where Trump made a last-minute endorsement of for the governor's race of Randy Feenstra, who's the 4th District congressman who had been thought of as one of the front runners for the nomination, but a poll had come out a couple days ago showing him actually in 2nd place behind a businessman named Zach Lane. The president sprang into gear. He endorsed Feenstra, who he had withheld his endorsement from previously. There was some conversation about how Trump was still smarting over Feenstra's refusal to endorse Trump back in the 2024 presidential primaries when Randy Feenstra was playing kingmaker in Iowa and didn't endorse anyone before the Iowa caucuses. So if Republicans can get Feenstra through this primary tonight, they'll be very happy. They've still got a tough race ahead, but there's a possibility that race could go to a convention. This is not something that is typical in Iowa, but if no candidate gets 35% of the vote, then the primary advances to a convention where all bets are off. We don't know what's going to happen there. It could get ugly. So the president's big endorsement in Iowa being tested. He also endorsed Steve Hilton in the state of California. That should be enough to get Steve Hilton at least in the top 2 or close to it. As Jessica said, there's a chance 2 Democrats get in there. But no more senators on Trump's target list at the moment who could get the axe tonight.
So that's the 10-minute overview of Super June's Day, as one publication referred to it.
Our friends at the hotline.
Our friends
yes.
at the hotline, and Kirk Beto. He'll be on a little later this evening. But 2 of the best in the business on with us right now. Happy to talk about these races tonight, or any of the races in election 2026. I dare you to test them on their knowledge of House and Senate and gubernatorial races. Here's the phone numbers again: 202-748-8920 for Democrats. Republicans, 202-748-8921. Independents, 202-748-8922. And if you voted today, and fun fact, about 16% of America was eligible to vote today in these 6 states. So if you're in one of those 6 states, 202-748-8923. We will start in the state of New York, in Farmingville, New York. John is on the line, Republican. John, what are you watching for this Super June's Day?
Mind y'all, Trump has endorsed several motherfuckers throughout this entire race, especially for this primaries. He's even endorsed, what's his name, in California, which I say I don't like. What is this man's name again? Who everybody's hoping in California that you don't want, but nobody also doesn't want Becerra either. So let's be 100% real. Like, it's a Steve Hilton. Steve Hilton's gotten endorsed by Trump several times. It's also Chad Bianco, who is a very fucking popular, literally, these 2 have been endorsed by our trifling president. But we'll let the tangerine in office, the wrinkled tangerine, endorse these men, but let them continue.
Was in New Jersey in the 9th district, and he's been sending me pictures of all the mailers he's been getting. I actually watched the Republican and the Democratic debate down there, and him and I still can't come to an agreement on who he should have voted for today. He has a reason that I just keep shaking my head at.
Who do you think should win that race in New Jersey, John?
I haven't made up my mind yet. I do want to say that the Democratic debate was so awful, I had to almost toothpick my eye to keep it open. He's sold on Tiffany Burris purely because she's Plaxico's wife and him being a longtime Giant fan. But I don't know. I look at her and I see her speak in front of the camera, and I don't buy it. I honestly don't think that any of the candidates that are running in the 9th district or the 11th district in Jersey are worth anybody's vote.
Jacob Rubashkin, 9th and 11th districts of New Jersey.
Well, look, as a fellow Giants fan, I'm not sure that being Plaxico Burress's spouse is a reason to vote for a candidate after what he did to himself and the team following that Super Bowl win about, oh gosh, 18 years ago, as painful as it is to say, but he cost the team a chance at a repeat performance. So I will leave that consideration to your friend, though. This district is a fascinating one, right? Because 4 years ago, this was not on anyone's radar. This was a seat that everyone considered to be very solidly Democratic. This is an urban North Jersey and Western New York City suburbs seat. It's heavily Hispanic. And while Joe Biden won it in 2020 by about 19 or 20 points at the top of the ticket, fast forward 4 years later, and Donald Trump carried this district narrowly out of nowhere. The incumbent Nellie Poe, she took over from Bill Pascrell, who died while in office. She was not anticipating this race to be a highly, highly competitive race. She only won by 5 points. And this cycle, Republicans have put it squarely on the target list. They've got this primary, though. National Republicans like Tiffany Burris. She's got the celebrity sheen. Plaxico's wife, she's an attorney. She has some fundraising capacity, some self-funding capacity potentially. But there's another candidate in there, Rosie Pino, who's a local office holder who's got some more relationships on the local political side. And we'll see. What I will say, though, is that this district is no longer a top target for Republicans. This is a seat that at the beginning of the cycle looked a little bit more competitive. We've got increasing evidence that Hispanic voters are shifting back toward the Democratic Party after swinging hard for Trump in 2024. Mikey Sherrill won this district by 20 points in the 2025 New Jersey gubernatorial race. So if we're in October, still talking about New Jersey 9 as a highly competitive district, things have gone pretty horribly wrong for Democrats at this point.
Let me stay in the Garden State and head there, actually. Joining us via Zoom is Joey Fox of the New Jersey Globe, the Washington correspondent. It's newjerseyglobe.com. Joey Fox, we've just talked about the 9th and the 11th districts of New Jersey. What are you watching for in your home state, the Garden State, this evening?
Well, so first of all, I'm cheating a little bit. I am broadcasting here from DC rather than New Jersey, unfortunately. But the two contests that I'm watching most closely, and I think people around New Jersey are watching most closely, are two Democratic primaries. One in the 7th district, where you've got 4 Democratic candidates who are running against Tom Kean Jr. He's a swing district congressman who is one of the most vulnerable House Republicans in November. So tonight we'll decide who his Democratic opponent will be. And there's become sort of some national intrigue in this race because this mysterious super PAC that everybody kind of suspects is tied to the Republicans, but that won't be definitively known for another couple of weeks, if ever, has suddenly come in and started attacking Bennett, which Bennett says, I think correctly, means that Republicans don't want her to be the nominee and are trying to sort of forestall that before she even gets the chance. But Republicans have kind of covered their tracks, so you can't say so quite definitively. But I do think that Bennett is still the favorite tonight. Last time I checked the results, I don't know if any counties in that district are reporting yet, so we don't really know yet. But there's a lot of signs that point towards her. And then in the 12th district, that is Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman's district. She's held it for the last 12 years, but she's retiring this year. And there are 12 Democratic candidates who are running for it. So it's a super crowded field. But in the sort of waning days of the race, it started to increasingly look like Adam Hamawee, who's a plastic surgeon and an Army veteran, has kind of an advantage. And it's an unusual case where oftentimes you have maybe a more moderate frontrunner, and there's the possibility of a more progressive candidate upsetting them. And here it's the opposite, where the most progressive major candidate in the race is Hamawee. And he's the one who's the frontrunner. He's got the most money. He's got a super PAC supporting him. He's got Bernie Sanders and AOC on his side. And all of the other candidates are progressive to some degree, but they are not running as distinctly left-wing campaigns, and they're the ones who have to hope for an upset here.
And by the way, we should note that there is a Senate race in New Jersey. Cory Booker is running for re-election ahead of what could potentially be, many people suspect, an eventual presidential run in 2028. So doing especially well this time around looks good for that resume. What do you know about who could face him in November? Obviously, whoever that is would likely be at a distinct disadvantage in the very blue state of New Jersey.
Yeah, so Republicans, I think, are unlikely to win a Senate race in New Jersey this year. That's something that people of both parties would be willing to admit to. I kind of thought that there was definitely an opportunity for sort of a decently well-known Republican in New Jersey to wage this campaign, raise a fair bit of money, kind of raise their profile against Booker. You know, you get to be the guy who's taking on the potential future presidential candidate. Booker is popular in New Jersey broadly, but not popular among New Jersey Republicans. But none of those kind of bigger names stepped up. And so you ended up with a field of lesser known candidates. I see on the screen, you've got Alex Sedan and Richard Tabor. There's two others, Justin Murphy and Bob Lebovics. None of them were particularly known statewide prior to this year. And yeah, you see Justin Murphy's in the lead, which is not exactly what I was expecting. But part of this race has just been, it's been very tough to predict, very tough to know what's going on. Local endorsements in the race have completely splintered. So there's no clear sort of party establishment pick. And to my relative surprise, no one has raised pretty much any money in this race. I would kind of think that the pitch to GOP donors is, I'm the guy who's running against Cory Booker, give me money. And plenty of donors won't necessarily know that Booker probably won't be beaten. But none of these candidates have been able to do that yet. So it's been sort of a low information, low expense primary. And I could see really any result happening tonight, and it wouldn't exactly surprise me.
And we should note just 12% in the Senate race, the Republican primary there. So a lot to go. And a reminder, we go by the Associated Press calls here, so we'll tell you those when it does happen. You'll see it on what you see on your screen. There'll be a little check mark by the winner when that call does happen. Joey Fox, what do we know about where Mikey Sherrill's going to be tonight? Where's Cory Booker going to be? Where sort of the headliners of New Jersey going to be tonight on this primary night?
This professional 32 TW SSD, capable of holding the entire collection of the New York Public Library, is something you won't find at Best Buy or any electronics retailer. Even if you were willing to drop $1,000, you couldn't buy it. But today, you can own it for the price of a single beer. Here's the deal. Due to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East and the crisis in the Red Sea, global shipping is in total chaos. Our entire shipment destined for major...
I'm not sure, in part because they did not get especially involved. Mikey Sherrill never, she made some endorsements of sort of non-controversial incumbents, but otherwise stayed out of the biggest races. So did Booker, and so did Kim, so did Andy Kim. So the three statewide officials all kind of took a little bit of a back seat in this race. You're not really seeing that be a major focus for voters or the candidates themselves. This is definitely, it's a very balkanized election night, where I think every voter is going into the voting booth with kind of their own race in mind.
You have to give Landsman at least a slight edge here. Still highly competitive. But if Landsman is losing on election night in November, Democrats, again, have a real problem. Sherrod Brown's certainly not winning that Senate race if Greg Landsman is going down in Ohio 1. Moving up to Ohio 9, we're speed running here. Toledo area district, Marcy Kaptur.
We've got time. You don't need to speed run.
The longest serving woman in congressional history, Marcy Kaptur. She is... she's the mayor of Toledo. She conquered the snake on the lake when Republicans drew her in with Cleveland's Dennis Kucinich in an attempt to boot one of them out. She booted Kucinich out of Congress. And she is in the fight of her political life, but that is nothing new for her. She's had really tough races the last two election cycles. Republicans keep making this district more competitive for her. It is now at a point where it would have voted for Donald Trump by close to 10 points. But Republicans also turned around and they nominated Derek Marin, who's the state representative who Marcy Kaptur beat 2 years ago. Now, she beat him by a very narrow margin, and there was a third-party candidate on the ballot that a lot of Republicans blame for Marin's loss. But the reality is he is not a particularly strong fundraiser, and he has not been able to close the deal before. This is going to be a better political environment than Marcy Kaptur got to run in 2024. Highly, highly competitive race, arguably her most competitive since she got to Congress, but one where she's still got some fight left in her. Finally, Ohio's 13th district. This is an Akron-based seat. Amelia Sykes, the Democratic congresswoman. This race is off the board. Republicans' top recruit, Kevin Coughlin, who held Sykes to a very narrow win back in 2024 when this district was redrawn to be just a little bit more Democratic. He called it quits. He said, it's too tough for me to win this cycle. That has left Republicans with a B or C tier nominee out there. Amelia Sykes should be fine and returning to Congress next cycle.
It's crazy how all of this is really going on right now. And they really have a thought, like I said earlier, before I clicked over to this side, when they were talking about the fact that voters have going in this with their own thought in mind. And that's the problem. A lot of people are going this in with a personal feel versus going in with this not only might affect me, but it might affect everybody around me. It might affect the next few generations because I realize a mayor could run and mayor runs for about 2 terms. Okay, everybody has about 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, you know the numbers that they have to deal with. And then we're stuck with this for a minute. Just like we're stuck with this president for another 4 years. And baby, he just became president, what? We haven't even got the first 2 years done with yet. I'm already stressed out. Like, what? We still have 3 more years? How many more years we got with this freaking tangerine in office? $2025 and then 2026. 25 was election, 2026, 2027. It feels like it's been a long time already, and we've been dealing with this man, but we have not been dealing with this man that long. We have not. I think 2025 was the start. 2026 this will be his second year. We're not even done with the fourth year. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I don't know y'all are stressing out too. It's over. I haven't even been able to go live because of the stress from the just not even just from just freaking president by himself. It's a lot to deal with. So let's get back into what they were talking about with the thingy. And then I'm gonna come back once I'm done with the item still, cooking for the family. And we're gonna take a look at this, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna look at the polls, see what's going on with California governor race. Of course, I'm always watching it while you guys are watching that. So yeah, let's get that going. Like David Bowie.
Jessica Taylor, any thoughts on Sherrod Brown's chances in Ohio?
We currently have this race rated as a toss-up. I mean, I think that this is a must-win if Democrats are going to win back the Senate. I think that Brown has the money right now where he is trying to paint the appointed senator there, John Husted, as tied to an Epstein donor. Husted, he's been the lieutenant governor. He was Secretary of State, but most people don't know their down ballot elected officials very well. What I think Brown has, though, he's still a Democrat in a state that has consistently moved against Democrats. He had a lot of money spent against him. The National Republican super PAC Senate Leadership Fund, they've made this their #1 highest spending race. Ohio is not a cheap state. I think that Ohio could break the spending for Senate ad spending, I think, this year.
And then Jacob Rubashkin on redistricting and the caller's concerns about redistricting and calling for geographically compact districts. How close or far are we, do you think, from some sort of major redistricting reform? We seem to be amid sort of the wild west of redistricting right now.
I think we're further away, but also paradoxically potentially closer than we have been in a long time. Because
this will push people to it?
Exactly, yeah. I think that we're not there yet, but the thing that will push people to support a more formalized redistricting process has to be, I think, a break in the system. There was a trend, a movement in the 2010s toward citizen-led redistricting commissions, toward independent redistricting commissions. We saw state after state. The state legislators didn't want to do it, but voters often got it on the ballot and approved it in places like California, in places like Colorado, in places like Michigan, places like Virginia. And there was a glimmer of hope that the citizens would take some of that power back, or at least out of the hands of overzealous state legislators who were drawing maps to favor one party or the other. And what we've seen over the last year is that when push comes to shove, those citizens will turn around and hand that power back to the partisan power brokers if the stakes
Breaking news, breaking news. In California, we have a fire taking place on this thing. Where has I been the whole time? And when did it reset? What is going on? We have a fire coming out of California. I didn't even know y'all could see. How long have I been not able to see anything? This is crazy. It's a fire coming out. Then we also got a power outage in Nevada County. That's breaking news. Oh my god, about 17 minutes ago. This is a lot of stuff happening all at once. But breaking news, there is a fire. So let me go ahead and get this all together. Y'all need to get my life snatched.
We have it rated as likely Republican. That could change based on the outcome of this primary tonight. Our
From the Associated Press, let me head back to the Hawkeye state. It is the Senate primary, the Democratic primary in Iowa. Josh Turek, the Associated Press says, will be the winner of that primary, 63%, with 28% reporting. The Associated Press saying that's enough to call it for Josh Turek.
Yeah, I mean, and they did that without, well, here we go. We've got a little bit of vote from Johnson County here. Zach Wall's only up by 12%. If we remember, Josh Turek is up by 27% in Des Moines and Polk County. Lynn County and Johnson County, the two counties, the big counties on the eastern side of the state, combined cast about as many votes as Polk County do. So if you think about it that way, Zach Walls would have needed to have won both of those eastern Iowa counties, Lynn and Johnson, by the same margin that Josh Turek was winning Des Moines in order to have a shot here. He's only up in Johnson County by 12 points right now. That's half the margin he would need to make up this gap. And that's before you look around the rest of the map and see a lot of Josh Turek votes in the more rural counties. Now, there aren't a ton of people, Democratic primary voters, who live in those rural counties, but when every single other county on the Iowa map is currently voting for Josh Turek over Zach Walls, clearly enough information to make a call in Josh Turek's favor.
And Josh Turek, as we noted earlier, will face Ashley Hinson in the general election in the Senate, and it's a key Senate race this cycle. If Democrats want to take back the Senate, that will be one to watch. We're waiting for some of these victory speeches. We'll take you to them. If and when they happen, they will happen. These candidates do like to come out and celebrate a victory. In the meantime, more of your phone calls. Let me head back to the Garden State, Akiva in Clifton, New Jersey. Thank you for waiting.
I voted today. John, I voted, Jacob, I voted for the Republican, Rosie Pino. By the way, Trump did two things that were shocking. One, he got 46% of the vote in New Jersey. That never happens. And second, he won my district that I live in, the 9th district. I won't ask you about that rating, although it could surprisingly be competitive in the fall. Anyway, I only have 3 questions.
Just 3. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'll limit it to just 2. We had a moderate Republican run for Senate 2 years ago in my state named Curtis Bashaw. He ran. He won a crowded primary. He won 45% of the vote. It was not expected that he would win, so there was not a lot of media attention surrounding Curtis Bashaw. He lost. He got 44% of the vote. That is better than expected, but he still lost by a sizable margin to Andrew Kim. In any event, first question, why don't moderates win in blue states? And by that, I mean moderate Republicans win in blue states and vice versa. And second question, we have a big Senate race in Michigan. I asked you about that, and you said Mike Rogers running in Michigan is obviously option number 1. Do you still believe that is competitive, or do you believe that what your friend Jessica said, actually, that Michigan is out of reach because they last elected Republican Spencer Abraham in 1994? One last thing before I go, your friend Jessica Taylor said Sherrod Brown is competitive in Ohio. Listen, Trump won the state with 55% of the vote. He won it by a big margin, 55-44 for Harris. So case closed. Brown will lose in November in Ohio.
Akiva, thanks for that. I've got Michigan Senate, I've got moderates in blue states, and I've got New Jersey's 9th District. What do you want to talk about?
Let's go Michigan first because it's the easiest question to answer here. Michigan, still competitive. Streaks like that are made to be broken. Look, states elect members of one party until they decide they want to elect a member of another party. I don't put too much stock in the fact that Michigan Republicans haven't won a race in a very long time because all the information that we have about this current race says it's highly competitive. You've got Mike Rogers as the presumptive Republican nominee. He very nearly won the state 2 years ago. Democrats are sorting through a increasingly messy primary. Haley Stevens, Mallory McMorrow, Abdul El Sayed. That race will not conclude until early August. Another 2 months of infighting among the Democrats. Look, you'd rather have the political environment right now if you're a Democrat, but the candidate field is still very much unsettled. That race is going to be very, very expensive, certainly one to keep an eye on. To your question about moderates, I think the New Jersey race in 2024, as you said, Curtis Bashaw really got very limited support. It was not a race that national Republicans prioritized. It was not a race that he had, for instance, himself, highly significant resources to put in on behalf of his own campaign. And ultimately, while partisanship and ideological differences can help make a candidate more competitive sometimes, if you're not able to run a fully fledged campaign, especially in a state like New Jersey that's expensive to advertise in, you're sandwiched there between 2 of the most expensive media markets in the country. You've got New York to the north, you've got Philly to the south. Then you're kind of out of luck. I would point you to a race just a little bit down the Atlantic shoreline in Maryland, where former Governor Larry Hogan, the poster boy of moderate Republicans, he ran for Senate against Angela Alsobrooks. Like Curtis Bashaw, he only lost by about 10%, but that was significantly better than what Donald Trump was doing in the presidential election. Hogan outperforming the top of the ticket. The reason, well, number one, he's a former governor, and so he was better known around the state than Curtis Bashaw ever was, and known for being a moderate and a fairly anti-Trump Republican as far as those things go. And number two, he had the financial resources to run a fully fledged campaign. So you need more than just the ideology in order to make a stand. But you're correct. In a presidential year, it is harder and harder to break against the partisanship of any state. We have just seen this happen less and less, cycle over cycle, where the Senate candidates can significantly outperform the top of the ticket in presidential years. Now, if you can tell that I'm segueing here to Ohio, you are right, because we are not in a presidential year right now. So while it is true that Donald Trump won Ohio handily in 2024, I will tell you he also won Ohio handily in 2016, and that did not prevent Sherrod Brown from winning that race for re-election in 2018. Now, he was an incumbent. He faced a not great challenger in Jim Renacci. All of that is very true, and that's why that race favored Sherrod Brown, and this race still probably favors John Husted. But Husted is an appointed senator. He has run statewide before, but not on his own since 2014. So it's been 12 years since he was not the lieutenant governor candidate as he was in 2018 and 2022. He does have some vulnerabilities. Sherrod Brown is a prolific fundraiser on the Democratic side, and the political environment is shaping up to be significantly better than it was for Democrats in 2024 when Brown lost by just 3.5 or 4 points to Bernie Moreno.
Impressive, but you didn't do New Jersey 9.
Oh, I think he said he didn't want to talk about New Jersey 9, but I'll talk about it because I'm happy to. We covered this a little earlier. This is the North Jersey kind of Passaic County district that surprisingly went for Donald Trump in 2024 off the strength of Hispanic voter swings from the Democrats to the Republicans. At the moment, though, it looks like Rosie Pino, who's not the choice of national Republicans, is ahead.
At the moment, I think we have Ashley Hinson coming out in Iowa, and I think she's about to make a statement. So let me go there, and we'll come back to New Jersey 9.
Thank you. Yeah, courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Good evening, and thank you so much. It's so great to be here with so many fine patriots from the great state of Iowa. You know, when we launched this campaign, we did it in the only way that we know how. Full speed, no hesitation, no holding back. But it has been such an honor to visit with supporters of all 99 counties in this state. And I can tell you, guess what? I have been to all of them. I am just so proud of the people who powered this campaign and helped to deliver a resounding victory here tonight. I'm going to be your next U.S. Senator. So from getting out there and making those calls, knocking a lot of doors, spreading the good word, fighting that good fight, our campaign for Iowans is made up of Iowans. And that is exactly what gives us the strength and the armor to step into this general election and make sure we fight it with everything we need to win. Are you with us to get that done? So I want to say thank you again for how hard you've all fought. We are counting on you to stay the course because we are just getting started. And I want to say tonight to Jim, thank you for putting your name on the ballot. To Jim's supporters, I look forward to earning your vote and making sure we win this election in November. So Iowa has been blessed with some of the strongest leaders in our country, and to have earned their support through this campaign has been an honor, and really it's some extra fuel for the fire. So first I want to start with Governor Reynolds. Governor, you have my word. I will never stop fighting to make Washington, D.C. run more like the great state of Iowa. I think we can all look at what's happening in Washington and know that they would be well served to take some leadership notes from our great governor, right? So thank you so much, Kim, for your legacy of service to our great state. Senator Grassley, it has been a privilege to call you my friend, and I look forward to serving alongside you in the United States Senate. And finally, to my...
Hey, did you know that SMUD is now paying Sacramento homeowners thousands of dollars upfront to put a backup battery system in their home? That's right, SMUD just launched their
fabulous friend, Senator Ernst. She is leaving behind some pretty big combat boots to fill, but like I've told her and Iowans across the state, she has spent the last 12 years sending Washington's fattest hogs running for the hills. And when I pick up this baton in November, you all have my word, the squealing's not going to stop. It's only going to get louder. There is simply no better way to honor someone who's given so much to our state and to our country as Joni has. So I just want to say thank you, Joni. You have some big combat boots to fill, and we will get that job done. So thank you so much, Joni Ernst. And then the last name I want to mention tonight, pretty familiar name to all of us, I want to say thank you, President Donald J. Trump. Hear that, Mr. President? I was cheering pretty loud for you. And we know that no one has fought harder and persevered through more, sacrificed more, just to do the right thing for our country than our president has, right? Yep. Earning his support and endorsement in this race is not something that I take lightly. It is an honor and a responsibility that I will carry with me these next 5 months into November. So thank you, President Trump, for your service to our country. And of course, to my family, my boys, Max and Jax, and my wonderful husband, Matt. I could not do this without all of them. They are the reason that I stepped into the arena. So thank you to my boys for being here tonight and having my back. Thank you, guys. Love you all. So Matt does a lot while I'm gone, by the way, if you can imagine. So I always joke that serving in Congress, the best thing you can do is have teenage boys, because you're negotiating with unreasonable people and the hygiene's bad. So thank you, guys. I know you make jokes. You did shower today. It's fine, right? Yeah. They don't think that's as funny as I do, by the way. But I do think that my kids, like all of yours, should have the opportunity to grow up with that American dream right in reach, right? And we know that after years of reporting on the issues on the news and then telling the stories of our great state, that it was time to step up and do something about it instead of just talking about it. I wanted to really help Iowa families, and so that is why I am here tonight. That's why we're all here tonight, right? We want to make sure everybody has that opportunity to live the American dream, the Iowa dream. And we know just 2 years ago, our nation was on the brink, right? We all saw what was happening. The leftist policies and an auto-pin presidency were crippling our country. They left families falling behind. Our borders stayed wide open, and dangerous criminals were roaming free in our country. Our schools were misguided, and that left our kids unprepared. We saw our nation growing weaker and our adversaries growing emboldened.